U.S. President Donald Trump reinstated the Mexico City policy, or the Global Gag Rule, which revoked funding for U.S.-funded safe abortion clinics around the world, many in African countries, including South Africa. Now, this order is said to affect many years of progress, and without safe maternal care, backstreet abortion operations will end up being detrimental to women's health. But #SheDecides is a new campaign on the block, and it's set to save the day. Now, to tell us more, we are very honored to be joined in studio by the ambassador of the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in South Africa, Marissa Gerards. A very good morning to you and welcome.
Thank you so much.
First and foremostly, I would like to get your reaction to the outcry that followed the Mexico City policy. From your research, how much impact will this have globally?
It will have quite some impact. It was my Minister Plumer who decided to do something about this funding ban that was declared by the U.S. administration, Minister Plumer, and we think it will have quite some impact. Until it's really implemented, we don't know the precise effects of this policy, but we do know that the total amount of the U.S. funding for family planning programs is about $600 million. And so let me quote a research by the Guttmacher Institute, because they said that $600 million will pay for contraceptive services for about 27 million women around the globe. And 27 million women not having access anymore to these services will probably result in 6 million unintended pregnancies, will probably result in 2 million unsafe abortions. This is the research of the Guttmacher Institute.
Now, you've jumped in and you've decided to launch a campaign, SheDecides. Tell us about the campaign and how are you going to save the day for women around the globe?
Well, the response has been overwhelming. My Minister Plumer, the Minister of Development and Trade of the Netherlands, she decided to do something about it, and she launched this campaign on the 24th of January. And the response has been overwhelming. She has been in the news in about 123 countries. We had a lot of governments who said, we're going to support. There was a big conference on the 2nd of March, organized also by Belgium, Denmark, and Sweden, and the Netherlands. But most of all, what I would also like to mention is that there's also a lot of public support and support by certain foundations. Let me just mention one, because the Bill Gates Foundation decided to chip in with $20 million. But there was also this lady in Washington who left a note and a $5 bill at our embassy with a note directed to our minister and saying that she supports. So it's from $20 million to $5 notes.
Now, $600 million, it's a lot of money to raise funds with.
Yeah.
How are you going to raise this? Have you got any ideas at this point in time?
Well, I mean, my minister started with the 3 other countries to have this conference. And so they raised already about $190 million at that certain conference, but also the foundations that are coming to rescue, like the Bill Gates Foundation. And of course, there's a public campaign.
Yes.
So the public can support as well. We have a website, www.shedecides.com, and also the public can donate. And the public is donating. In the Netherlands, we had quite some fundraising activities as well. What
are your hopes and your goals for this campaign for this particular year and beyond?
Well, the hopes are that it will grow and that we're actually going to compensate for the budget cut of 600 million, and maybe we can grow even further, because I think the women and the girls of this world, they need our support.
Yes. Why is it so important, especially for women, when it comes down to your support and making sure that they do have access to this funding?
I think it's very important to empower women, and I think for them to make their own choices, whether, how, and how many children they're going to have during their life, I think it's very important, because it has also something to do with poverty.
Yes.
I mean, once that you can choose to have your family at the moment that you're ready for it and have the number of children that you can actually support, it will mean a lot, because women can go to school, they can study, but also the children that they get, they can make sure that they have enough food, and they can also offer education for them. So I think it also has something to do with economic empowerment and poverty eradication.
Now, Ambassador, you're based here in South Africa, but if you look at the situation, where will women be most affected? Is it on the African continent or in Africa as a whole?
I think always, you know, poverty, conflict, it makes women most vulnerable. So I think these women will be most affected by this new policy, but we're trying to compensate and make sure that that won't happen.
And globally, where's the greatest need, though?
Where's the greatest need? Well, we have quite some large organizations like UNFPA, like IPPF, but also the Marie Stopes International Organization that's also active here in South Africa. They're going to miss out on funding from this US funding ban. So these organizations will get compensation through the SheDecides campaign. So that will be very helpful, I think, also for your country.
Now, you've also got a petition that was created to call on governments to assist with the campaign. What has been the response thus far?
Oh, overwhelming. Overwhelming as well. I think we have about 230 organizations signing up now from 65 countries, and still new signatures are coming in by the day. So maybe even my numbers are outdated by now. Could well be.
Now, just in closing, what is your message to women out there and everybody out there that's, that want to be part and parcel of SheDecides?
Please support us, because this is about mobilizing political but also public support, because I think we have to stand by our women and our girls and our families to make sure that they can make these choices. So please check our website as well, because also for an individual, a $5 note given to our embassy in Washington, it made a difference. And my minister is using that example time and again, because also the individual can really support and really make a difference.
The Mexico City policy, if I just want to go back to that, why was it imperative for the U.S. President to bring this in the public space and make sure that this funding is being withdrawn? Yes,
well, I think maybe you should invite my colleague from the United States to ask this question. I find it hard to give that answer in their place. Yes.
Ambassador, I thank you so much for your time and joining us here in studio. All the best of luck with SheDecides. Give us that website again, and let's see if we can put it up there as well, so people can go on and make a contribution.
Okay, the website is www.shedecides.com.
Let's see if we can have it up there. We had a little bit earlier there. You see it on your screens there. SheDecides, that's the initiative there.
Yes. People can even donate.
Yeah, there you go. Donate. You can $1, $2, whatever dollar you have available.
Absolutely.
Please go and SheDecide and contribute to this wonderful campaign to make sure that women are protected all around the globe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was Ambassador of the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in South Africa, Marisa Gerards, telling us about SheDecides. That's a new campaign. Go and show your support.